this free agent period has been one of the most. It's been an interesting one. I'm not gonna say it's been the most eventful one. You have had some blockbuster deals. I mean, you got Giannis since the season has ended. You got Giannis get traded, Kawhi get traded back to you got Jaylen Brown get traded. You got Julius Randle got traded. That's a minor deal. Julius Randle got traded for essentially money and picks, and that was a minor deal. You got LaMelo Ball get traded. You got, I mean, a lot of trades. Obviously, the Jaylen Brown for Paul George trade was just one of the, you know, feel like I missed a trade or two in there. But yeah, man, it has been wild with the trade circulation. As I said, the Knicks got everybody scrambling. Well, you know, in between that, I mean, I would love to think that all of the trades that were made for basketball purposes. Even when it comes to culture of the locker room, when it comes to chemistry and fit, right? A lot of them are made for money, right? Knowing that your team is not built for a championship or built like it's an unfixable situation, and you know you're not gonna be able to fix it like with certain moves, right? Obviously, also LeBron with the Lakers, that's a big thing, right? But the problem with one trade in particular, and this is, I mean, like I said, I sat here as a Knicks fan. Go ahead, ruin yourself, Boston. Go ahead, ruin the team that you've had that has competed and has given an honest effort and actually won a championship. Got back 60 games, lost in the second round, but they lost to a team that won the next championship, right? Not that one that year, but the next championship after that. Then you come out, you lose one of your best players, you think it's a gap year, you think it's a year where, you know, you basically break up, you shave salary because you don't feel that your team can compete for a title, yet you still have a second seed, you won 56 games, and you were a contender. Eureka. And the guy who was basically the biggest reason why you were a contender this year, you decide to trade. Now, again, I'm hearing rumors, but even when I can give credit to a rumor because it makes sense, it makes logical sense. See, it makes logical sense, this rumor, because it don't make any sense, the basketball deal that was done. I just laid it out with Boston. Boston has won the championship. They won 60 games the next year. They won 56 games the next year. Now, both years were disappointing in the playoff. And maybe that's the cover of light that they take. But no, this is bad. This is bad. The whole situation with Jaylen Brown and Stephen A. Smith, fall the fuck back. Please, Stephen A., fall back. Like, no one should be listening to Stephen A. because Stephen A. wants to believe he was right, but then if you were right, then you should be reporting this part of the angle. The new ownership group, which I get, they were part of the reasons why they didn't want to take on the luxury tax deal and everything else, does not like Jaylen Brown. And the reason why he does not like Jaylen Brown is quite troubling. Quite troubling. I mean, Jaylen Brown is a likable guy, right? As a Knicks fan, now he played for the Sixers, so he plays for another op. I'm not rooting for him, right? But I know when this kid came in, I thought he was going to be possibly the next T-Mac. I saw T-Mac when I saw, and I get it. He's not the ball handler that T-Mac is. Might not even be the jump shooter yet. But he has a lot of requisite skills. He is a very cerebral player. He is a very, like, he works hard. There's no, I'm going to just put it this way. There's nothing not to like about the kid. And he's going to be 30, he's 30 years old. I get he has a big contract coming. Here's the deal. If this was a basketball move, if this was a move about basketball or coach or anything I aforementioned, then the trade would not have been for Paul George. This was a trade done because the Boston owner, the new Boston owner, the new head guy, is racist. And he's threatened by the intelligence of Jaylen Brown. Now I get it, right? I get it. If he's racist, why would he buy an NBA team? There's other black players. Why would he get rid of all the black players on the team? Donald Sterling owned an NBA team for many, many, many years. Damn near 40. Okay? And that ain't the issue. The issue is that Jaylen Brown is very outspoken, very intelligent, like damn near genius level IQ, and he plays basketball. And somehow the new owner believes this is a shut up and dribble type of situation. And so they've used a couple of things. And this is where you, again, Stephen A. Cole, fall back. Because now I've called you that, right? And I really haven't even looked at what you said about the situation with Jaylen Brown. And I really do not care, right? All I know is you've made it personal and you're not doing your job. And I get it. I get your new job. I get the media's job now. I get it's the thing with the media now is to make the hot take and fuck all the journalistic integrity. I get it, right? I get it. No one's journalists anymore. Everything is about hot take because social media has made it where you don't have to. You don't, like I said, I can come up here. I have a platform to speak my mind, and so you're speaking your mind for the powers that be. You're speaking your mind because those that want you to do this they want you at Jaylen Brown's neck. You can't have too many powerful. Well, put it this way: his money gives him power, right? He's a basketball player. He's rich. He's not wealthy. He's not I mean, he could be. Like I said, this guy could be. Generally, he could be the next Elon Musk. He could. He's that intelligent, man. I'm not just gassing it up, bro. I'm not gassing it up. Like I said, this guy, speaks different languages. He gives lectures at Harvard and MIT. He spoke on one thing in particular that guys like Stephen A. and all of them are guilty of. And this, again, me, hey, smarter than me. I consider myself a smart guy. But I can recognize intelligence in another human being. And I see it, right? I saw Jaylen Brown speaking on the social engineering done through social media and other outlets. And this gets deep, bro. This gets deep. I know you coming up, it gets deep where I understand what I'm doing. I understand what I'm going against. Popular narratives, and that's the thing, popular narratives, it's funny because a lot of Philly fans think this is a good basketball team. They're gonna have to figure something out. I can see them being a good basketball team, but I don't think they're a great basketball team. Because it's and I'll get into that later because I got into that on 10 Toes Down about how it's not about just gathering names. I saw somebody say you got 3 guys that will score 28 points on the same team. And knowing that, they're not going to score 28 points on this team. It's not about stacking scorers. It's about getting a play style that works. Now, they have a lot of talent. They have talent to spare. And maybe it would make sense for them to trade Embiid. Problem is, Embiid is the big man. Everybody else is guard-oriented. So you got, if you want to build the team around your 1, 2, and 3, which I would assume Jaylen Brown, Maxey, and Edgecombe will be, then you're going to have to get a center that can roll with those guys, right? And then maybe you can build something. But right now, you're just kind of throwing a bunch of guys who can score the basketball together, and there's only one basketball. Who's going to play off the ball? Who's going to do the little things? Those are the things that I am looking at when I judge them as a team, all right? But let's get back to the whole trouble with the Jaylen Brown situation. Let's get back to the social engineering that he was talking about. Let's get back to the fact that this is a news cycle. This is a culture now. This is a lot of powers that be understand. To get money, we got to influence minds. And Jaylen Brown is not one of them get along guys. And I think I saw that. I think the problem is you saw an owner that said, I'm never going to be able to control this man. And I don't understand. Like, Jaylen Brown has done nothing malevolent. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna start throwing out some SA3 words. He's done nothing of malice. He's done nothing he has done nothing controversial. He's not overly political. He don't throw any politics in your face. He's just a thought-provoking young man. And they got an issue with that. And I got an issue that they got an issue with that. I got a major issue that they got an issue with that. Because what is the problem? What's the problem? He's not, he's not overly political. He's not over, I couldn't tell you if he was liberal or conservative. As a moderate myself, I would think he was kind of that. He's one of these guys that it's like I'm not going to acquiesce to what people want me to think and believe. So in other words, he's too much of an independent thinker, and that bothers his new employer. And it was to put him in his place. I'm gonna trade you out of here. And the problem is, you got a fan base to sell that to. Jaylen Brown was liked. Well, did everybody love him in Boston? Probably not. I can't think most people did. I think most people did. And this is an issue. This is a major issue. This is an issue that the NBA leadership should be looking into. Because, boy, I'm glad to be a Knicks fan and not a Celtics fan today. Because I had a chance at a dynasty with this team, and I get it. There were issues. Like, first of all, their basketball department, I believe, is absolutely stupid. That they're over-relying on analytics. That they ran a three-point attack. That they did. Saying that Derek White had a better season. Bruh, that's where you fucked up. You really did. Now, I get it. Analytics can say a lot of things, and they can say what they want you to say. There's nobody on God's green earth. There's nobody that knows anything about basketball that would believe that and mind you, even if he did, why does that matter? Because together, Jaylen Brown and Derek White were able to get 56 wins mostly without the services of Jason Tatum. They were able to keep that team solvent. So why is it that you're using Derek White, of all people, to slander Jaylen Brown. That's the part that's interesting. Very, very interesting. But again, look, thought process, guys, fuck it up. It troubles me why they did it. I'm kind of happy they did it. Well, I want the Knicks to go back to back. I want the Knicks to win again. And I don't see anybody in this free agent so far, because I think the moves from here on out, I don't think anything's earth-shattering. I think the biggest winner yesterday, which is so funny, I think the biggest winner yesterday were the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's not because they did anything earth-shattering. I kind of laugh at the fact that, hey, their team is a bunch of white guys right now, right? You know, not to be racist or anything, but, you know, hey, I just said they're the biggest winner, right? I think they made the most improvements, and they got the most things that their team needs to go in the right direction. Everybody else has played musical chairs. That's what everybody else is, just switch dancing partners. Nobody has put themselves in a, like, maybe Miami. Miami didn't fix their issues with the Giannis trade. As much as I like Giannis, Miami didn't fix their issues. They made more. You know, Philly, again, 4 guys that can score, 1 basketball. You're gonna have to figure out your play style. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I mean, you know, it is what it is, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Wow. This one free agency was an interesting one, for sure. Peace.